All right. Good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing? Welcome to Sunset Yoga. Let's start off by finding a comfortable seated position on our mat. You can sit on the edge of a block, a blanket, whatever feels good to you. Just finding this comfortable position here. And just sitting tall with the spine as long as possible, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Closing the eyes or keeping a soft gaze open. And just taking this moment to tune into what is going on right now in this moment. Leaving whatever is in the past. Leaving whatever is in the future. And just tuning into the now, the present moment. Noticing the quality of the breath. Noticing the quality of the body. Noticing the quality of the mind. And noticing what's coming up for us. Noticing what bodily sensations are arriving. Or perhaps we're already there and we're just now aware of. Noticing what thoughts are arising in the mind. Noticing if we're holding on to tension in our body at any point in this moment. And seeing if we can release that tension by unclenching our hands, unclenching our feet, unclenching our jaw, softening the face. Perhaps moving the chest a little bit forward, opening up the heart space. Gently tucking the chin forward a tiny bit to relax the neck. And just being with what is coming up right now. The theme for today's class is to stay in the present moment. Stay in the present moment. That's where you find life's magic. How overwhelmed we feel when we anticipate the future. All that needs doing, all the tasks, the work, the potential problems, the responsibilities. How tired we become when we dwell on what we've done already, the energy we've expended, and the imperfect results. Yes, sometimes to stay in the present, we need to visit the past, to clear out an old feeling, to heal an old limiting belief. But that visit can be brief. And sometimes we need to think about the future, to make commitments, to plan, to envision where we want to go. But to linger there can cause unrest. It can spoil the moment we're in now. Stay in the present moment, and the past and the future will fall naturally and easily into place. And that is the intention that we will set as a class together for our practice this evening, is to stay in the present moment, which we know sounds simple, but is very difficult to do. But we can keep trying and keep reminding ourselves to do that in every moment as we move through our practice. And if there are any other intentions that you'd like to set for your practice this evening, this is a great time to do so. Reminding yourself of why you are practicing yoga right now, why come to the mat right now. So repeating these intentions to yourself. And we'll practice together, staying in the present moment. And slowly start to add some movement into the body, rolling the wrist, maybe rolling the neck, just adding some gentle movement, whatever feels good in the body in this moment. And reversing direction in whatever direction you are going. And gently rolling the shoulders up to the ears and back down. Once again, rolling the shoulders up to the ears and back down. Let's just do some gentle twists just to open up the spine. So bring your left hand over to your right knee. Bring your right hand behind you and just very gently twist over to the right. So we're not pulling our body or straining in any way. We're just seeing where our body is right now. We're staying in the present moment. Gazing over our right shoulder, keeping that breath moving here. And we'll gently come back to center and switch sides. We'll bring the right hand over to the left knee, bring the left fingertips behind us, and just gently twist over to the left. Once again, just meeting our body where our body is. Breathing here. And we'll gently come back to center. We'll just do some lateral twists just to open up the side body. Bring the right hand out to the right. Flip the left palm up to the ceiling and gently bend over to your right. You can bring your right elbow down to the mat if you have more room to work with. Reaching your left hand as far to the right as you can, breathing here. And inhaling back to center. This time, bring the left palm down to the mat, right palm faces to the sky, and very gently bend over to your left this time, reaching that right arm towards the left side of the mat. Breathing here, reaching and growing really long in the side. And coming back to center. Gently coming up off of your prop if you are on one, and coming onto your hands and your knees, getting ready for a few rounds of cat and cow. And just do this in your own pace, in your own timing. Just maneuvering between cat and cow, getting some nice opening in the spine, also getting some nice movement in the hips, and moving in whatever way feels comfortable to you. Perhaps moving the hips in circles, perhaps flipping the wrist if you would like to relieve some wrist tension, or perhaps gazing back at your heels, whatever feels good to you. And then in your own timing, if you haven't started the Spotify playlist, please go to the third song and then make your way into a downward dog. So making your way into a downward dog, playing the Spotify playlist, and then we'll all come into our downward dog. So taking your time, moving at your own pace. Oops. And in your downward dog, just pedal around. Move the feet, move the heels. Spreading those fingers wide. We're really rooting down in between the index finger and the thumb. And let the head and neck relax today. So just simply relax. Letting the head hang, the shoulders away from the ears, breathing here in your downward dog, staying in the present moment, just noticing what is coming up for you right now. Not what has come up and not anticipating what's going to come up, but simply just noticing what is in the body and the mind right now. 2 more deep breaths here. Nodding the head yes. Shaking the head no. Look to the front of your mat. Gently walk or step your feet to your hands. Inhaling halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, roll up to standing, bringing the palms to the sky. Palms meeting together, gaze up, Urdhva Hastasana. Palms down at the heart and to the side. All right, we're at the front of our mats, our toes together, our heels are slightly apart, hands to the side, shoulders away from the ears, standing tall in Tadasana, mountain pose. Breathing here, really rooting down through the feet as we start our Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutations A. Inhale as the arms sweep to the sky, palms together, gaze up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale as we forward fold, hinging at the hips, Uttanasana. Inhale as we come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, crown reaching forward. Exhale as you bend both knees, plant both hands. Bring the left foot back, bring the right foot back, coming into your first high plank. On the balls of your feet, the shoulders are directly over the wrist, fingers spread wide, and we're really utilizing that core here. We're hugging the belly to the spine, keeping the gaze down, the neck is long. Breathing here for 5, lift those kneecaps up. 4, 3, keep that breath moving. 2, 1, lower all the way down to the mat. Lowering all the way down, untuck the toes. Bring those hands about 6 to 8 inches in front of you. Inhaling up into baby cobra. Bring those elbows in towards the body, the gaze down. Breathing here, getting that stretch in the back. And exhaling as we come back down. Slide the hands back underneath the shoulders. Your palms are directly underneath your shoulders. Squeeze those elbows into the body. So you're squeezing them into the rib cage. Tuck the toes, lift the knees up, push up, high plank, and exhale back into downward dog. Breathing here. Spreading the fingers wide, really rooting down between the index fingers and the thumb. Shoulders away from the ears. Nodding the head yes, shaking the head no. Look to the front of your mat, step or jump your feet to your hands. Inhaling halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Gaze up at the palms. Palms down at the heart and to the side. And again, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend both feet, plant both hands. Bring the left foot back. Bring the right foot back. Coming back into a high plank. Option to do cobra, otherwise shifting forward into chaturanga. Moving through your vinyasa as you pull the heart through upward dog or cobra. Exhaling back into downward dog, breathing here. And noticing what's coming up in the body, noticing what's coming up in the mind. And anchoring back into the present moment. What is happening right now? Not what has happened or will happen, but what is right now. Nodding the head yes, shaking the head no. Look to the front of your mat, step or jump your feet to your hands. Inhaling halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Gaze up at the palms. Palms down at the heart and to the side. And again, building that heat. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga or Cobra, moving through your flow. Inhaling as the heart pulls through. Exhaling, downward dog. Breathing here. Keeping that breath moving. Relaxing the head down. Look to the front of your mat. Step or jump your feet to your hands. Inhaling halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana, gaze up. Palms down at the heart and to the side. Take a moment here just to stand tall in mountain, noticing what's coming up. Noticing what sensations are in the body. Noticing the quality of the mind. And blink open the eyes on the next breath. Inhale as you sit back, Utkatasana, awkward chair pose. Sweeping the arms up to frame the ears. Gently tuck that tailbone in so you're engaging that core, hugging the belly to the spine. You should be able to pick up your toes and you should be able to see your toes. Your knees should be far back enough, as if you're sitting on a sliding chair. Raise the heart a little higher to the sky. Breathing here for 5. 4, option to come onto your tippy toes. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Move through your vinyasa, whether that's through Chaturanga or Cobra, Bhujangasana. We'll all meet back in downward dog. On the next breath, float that right leg high to the sky, long 3-legged dog. Open up that right hip by bending that right leg. Breathing here. Bringing that right leg back up to the sky. Shifting forward as you bring your right knee to your nose. Engage that core. Breathing here, keeping that breath moving. And float that right leg up to the sky. Shift forward, bringing your right foot forward in between both hands. Lower your left heel down. Both heels are on the mat, rising up into warrior 1. Shoulders away from the ears, facing the front edge of the mat. Squaring the hips to the front edge. Option to bring palms together overhead. Option to even gaze up at the palms. Breathing here, standing strong in this warrior pose. On the next breath, bring both hands down, back to the mat around that right foot. Come onto the ball of your left foot. You're in a low lunge. Use your core to bring your right foot back to meet your left foot and move through your vinyasa. When you get into downward dog, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, spreading the fingers wide. Keeping that breath moving. On the next breath, float that left leg high to the sky, long 3-legged dog. Open up that left hip by bending that left leg, breathing here. Floating that left leg back up to the sky. Shift forward, bringing your left knee to your nose, breathing here. Engaging that core. Float that left leg back up to the sky. Shift forward once again, bringing your left foot forward. Lower your right heel down, rising up into warrior 1 on the other side. Squaring the hips to the front edge of the mat, shoulders away from the ears. Option to bring the palms together, gaze up at the palms. Breathing here wherever you are, standing strong. Keeping that breath moving. On the next breath, bring both hands down around that left foot. Come onto the ball of your right foot. You're in a low lunge. Use your core to bring your left foot back to meet your right foot. You're in a high plank. Move through your vinyasa. And when you come into your downward dog, come down into child's pose just for a moment of rest. A moment to allow yourself to stay in the present moment, to notice what is happening right now. Noticing the quality of the body, noticing the quality of the mind. And on the next breath, gently rise back up into a downward dog. Spreading those fingers wide, the shoulders away from the ears. Relaxing the head and neck down. On the next breath, float that right leg up to the sky, long three-legged dog. Shift forward, bringing your right knee forward as you place your right foot down on the mat. Bring your left heel down on the mat. Rise up for just one moment into warrior one, and then open up into warrior two, facing the left side of your mat. Right toes forward, left toes facing the left. Your chest and your shoulders are facing the left side of your mat. Bringing the arms out to the side, shoulders away from the ears. Breathing here, gazing over the middle finger on your right hand. Standing strong and rooted in both feet. On the next breath, reverse the warrior. Right palm to the sky, left palm back. Keeping that right knee over that right ankle. Breathing here. And on the next breath, bringing yourself back up into warrior two. Straighten that front leg, heel toe that back foot a little closer. If you have a block, this is a great time to bring a block or books or a blanket or pillow. You can place it outside of your right foot. We're preparing for triangle here. So bring the arms out to the side. Kick your hips back behind you, tucking your right hip into your left. You're reaching forward with that right hand as if somebody is trying to hand you something just out of reach. When you can't reach anymore, bring that right arm down towards the mat, left arm up to the sky. If your right arm needs to land on a block or a prop, that's totally okay. Coming into triangle. If the neck feels too pained in this moment, feel free to keep the gaze down. And feel free to bend both or one of your legs as much as needed. In triangle, we're trying to work the heart open towards the sky. Imagining that we are in between two panes of glass and we're trying to fit in between those panes of glass, getting as flat as we can, but opening up the heart to the sky. 2 more deep breaths here. On the next breath, very gently rising back up into warrior two. Breathing here, gaze over the middle finger on the right hand. On the next breath, once again, straighten that front leg. Bring those right toes in so that both of your feet are parallel to one another. So you're in a wide-legged stance. You want your toes to be more in than your heels. Your heels should be facing outwards. Okay, so your toes are more in than your heels. Arms out to the side to begin with. Breathing here, shoulders away from the ears. And then bring the hands to the hips. Inhale the heart open to the sky. Exhale as you forward fold all the way down. Prasarita Padottanasana. Bringing the hands down to the mat. Some of you may have more room to work with. You can work to bring the heels of the hands in line with the heels of the feet.
Bringing the arms into chaturanga arms, stacking the elbows over the wrist. Breathing here, bending the knees as much as is needed in this forward fold. And coming into the balls of our feet, getting the hamstring stretch. Breathing here, letting the head and neck relax. One more deep breath here. On the next breath, bring the hands out in front of the face. Breathing here. Come up halfway as you place the hands on the hips. Taking a big inhale here, big exhale, and then slowly, slowly, slowly taking your time to rise back up to standing. Once again, pivot those right toes to the front edge of the mat. Sink down into warrior two just for a moment. Windmill both hands towards the front of the mat around your right foot. Come onto the ball of your left foot. You're back in a low lunge. Using your core, bring your right foot back to meet your left foot and move through your vinyasa. We'll all meet back in downward dog. You can always skip the vinyasa and go straight to downward dog. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Nodding the head, yes. Shaking the head now. On the next breath, float that left leg high to the sky, long three-legged dog. Shift forward, bringing your left foot forward onto the mat. Bring your right heel down on the mat. Rising up for just one moment into warrior one. And then opening up to the side into warrior two. Left toes facing the left, right toes facing the right, shoulders away from the ears as the arms come out to the side. Gaze over the middle finger on the left hand. Breathing here. And reverse the warrior, left palms to the sky, right palm back. Keep your left knee tracking over that left ankle. Breathing here. And coming back to warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Heel toe that back foot a little closer to shorten the stance. Option to bring a block here for your left hand as we prepare for triangle on the other side. We're kicking our hips back behind us, so our left hip is tucking into our right. Our arms are out to the side. We're reaching, reaching, reaching with that left hand, as if we can't reach anymore. Someone's just out of reach. When you can't reach anymore, left arm comes down to a block, a prop, or the mat. Right arm comes up to the sky. Breathing here in triangle, Utthita Trikonasana. If the neck hurts too much to hold the gaze up, feel free to just bring the gaze down. And feel free to bend the knees as much as you need to avoid any pain. Once again, imagining that we are in between two panes of glass. We're opening up our heart to the sky. Breathing here, keeping that breath moving, not holding the breath. One more deep breath here. And we'll slowly, slowly, slowly rise back up into our warrior two. Feel free to widen the stance a little more again if that feels comfortable. Gaze over the middle finger on the left hand. Breathing here, standing strong. And on the next breath, once again, straightening that front leg. Bring your left toes in. So you're once again in a wide-legged stance. You want your toes to be more in than your heels. Okay, so Prasarita Padottanasana. Couple options here for how you're feeling in the present moment. If you're feeling pretty good and you want to do some shoulder opening, clasp your hands behind you. Okay, getting ready there. For some of you, you may want to just place your hands on your sacrum, bending your elbows back. Okay, so you're placing your hands on the sacrum. So choose one of those. Choose whichever feels good to you in this moment. Okay, whether you're clasping hands or your hands are on your lower back, your sacrum. Inhale as you open the heart up to the sky. Exhale as you forward fold. Your hands are clasped. You're going to try to let your hands fall forward, okay? Opening up the shoulders. If your hands are on your hips, try to squeeze those elbows together. Okay, wherever you are, let the head and the neck relax down towards the mat and come towards the balls of your feet, feeling this in your hamstrings. If you need to bend your knees, that's perfectly okay. Breathing here, letting gravity do its thing. Keeping the breath moving. On the next breath, if your hands are clasped behind you, peel the hands back to the body. Everyone come up halfway, releasing the hands to the hips. Take a big inhale here, big exhale out, and slowly, slowly, slowly roll up to standing. When you get to the top, shrug the shoulders up to the ears and back down. Pivot those left toes to the left, coming once again into warrior two. Breathing here for just a moment. And then windmilling both hands down around that left foot, coming onto the ball of your right foot into a low lunge. Using your core, bring your left foot back to meet your right foot and move through your last vinyasa of class today. Make it the juiciest one yet. And when you come back into your downward dog, come down into child's pose, taking a moment of rest. And take this moment to notice what is coming up for you in the body. What is coming up for you in the mind? And how can you anchor into the present moment right now? Not trying to solve problems of the past, not trying to anticipate the future, but simply just noticing what is happening right now. On the next breath, slowly, slowly roll up to a seat. When you come up to seated, shrug the shoulders up to the ears and back down. All right, so we'll now begin the yin part of our practice. So a couple options here. We're gonna do twist, but lying forward, okay? So some props that I recommend for this. If you have pillows, then feel free to grab the pillows. If you have blankets to put on top of the pillows, even better, okay, to spread those out. If you want a little bit more elevation, feel free to place a block or some sort of book or elevation underneath this apparatus, okay, if you want a little bit more elevation. Also, feel free to totally just adjust this as we go as well, okay? So what you want to do is you want to have something in front of you, okay, to kind of land on, okay? So you're going to be on your knees right now. You're going to be on your knees. You're going to have something here to kind of land on in front of you, okay, directly vertically in front of you. So now what we want to do is move yourself to the left edge of the mat. So your knees are going to be on the left edge of the mat. Kick your hips off to the right edge of the mat, just at the base of your landing spot, okay? So you're kind of in this like beach pose where you're kind of sitting on the beach like this. Well, maybe some of you, at least I do. Okay, so bring your hands around the landing pad and square your chest and your shoulders over the landing pad and simply lie down on it. Okay, so you're in a twist. And see if you can relax your shoulders and your elbows from the mat. And feel free, if you want some elevation to kind of make it more comfortable, feel free to do so. I'm going to add a block underneath mine. Okay, but here, the goal here is to be in a twist. And if your neck feels good facing the right side of your mat, that's fine. If your neck feels good facing the left, that's also fine. But see if you can let go of the need to hold yourself up on your elbows, on your arms. See if you can just simply fall into the props in front of you. This is a very gentle spinal twist. And in these yin asanas, we'll hold them a little bit longer, really give ourselves time to sit in them. And of course, the longer that we sit in silence or inactivity, the more restless it's natural to become, but also a great time to practice presence, staying in the present moment, acknowledging what's coming up, acknowledging restlessness or anxiety or nervousness, acknowledging peace or contentment, acknowledging anger, frustration, discomfort, whatever it is, just acknowledging what is in the present moment. We're not judging or labeling, we're just simply acknowledging. And see if you can just relax and let go of needing to hold yourself up right now. Can you just allow yourself to be held? Relaxing the jaw. See if you can relax the shoulders, noticing if your shoulders are tense and moving them away from the ears. Keeping the breath moving. And just noticing what's coming up. If the mind wanders to the past, to the future, that's okay. It's simply just allowing yourself to anchor into the present moment. What do you know is happening right now? What is coming up in the body right now? What is coming up in the mind right now? And can we just acknowledge and observe without judging or labeling it as good or bad, right or wrong? Staying in the present moment. And just noticing if tension's coming up, seeing if we can relax and let go. Allowing ourselves to be held, knowing that we're not going to fall, we're going to be okay. We're held, we're supported. Just taking a few more moments here.
And slowly start to deepen the breath, bringing movement into the body, gently coming back up to the mat, using the hands or the elbows to push yourself up very gently. And then coming back onto your knees, just taking your time, no rush here, taking your time to come back onto your knees. And we're simply going to switch sides. So now scoot your knees off to the right side of your mat. Bring the hips down to the left side. And once again, use your hands to square your chest and your shoulders over your landing pad in front of you. Squaring the chest and the shoulders, and see what feels good for your head. If you want to turn your head towards the right, that's okay. If you want to turn it towards the left, that's also okay. And see if you can relax and not need to hold yourself up with your elbows and your arms. See if you can just simply be held, just relax down. Let go of the work right now. This is your time to rest, to rejuvenate. This is your time to be supported. Relaxing the jaw, separating the teeth. And taking these moments of stillness to stay in the present moment, even if that means staying with discomfort and restlessness. Just naming that restlessness, naming whatever it is that comes up, because that is part of the present moment. And then naming the next emotion or feeling or thought that comes up in the next present moment. Keeping the breath going. And if the mind wanders, just simply coming back to what is happening right now. What sensations are felt in the body, what the breath is doing right now. Just staying here for a few more moments, taking in the moment. And slowly, slowly rising up, taking your time to use your hands and your elbows to gently come back up to the mat. And then coming back onto your knees. But this time sit back on your heels. You can remove the props out from in front of you, just for the time being. And just come down into a child's pose, just neutralizing the spine. Play around with having your knees together or apart. It might feel good to have your knees apart to get a nice stretch in the back, the
free to have them together, whatever feels good to you, just tuning into the moment, tuning into what your body wants right now. And maybe in the process, discovering what it needs. Few more moments in child's pose here. And on the next breath, just slowly rolling up into a comfortable seat. Once again, shrugging the shoulders up to the ears and back down. All right, so we're gonna do just a few minutes of pranayama breath work. And it's actually a breath work that I haven't really taught a whole lot in previous classes. It's called the Shitali breath. It is wonderful breath for cooling, for grounding. So especially if we've been feeling frustrated or irritable or angry, or we feel like our heart's been a little closed, this is a great breath to kind of soothe. So find a comfortable seat. Feel free to sit on the edge of a blanket, a pillow, perhaps a block, whatever feels good to you. Any comfortable seat. So in Shitali breath, so this is a great breath. If anyone, does Ayurveda with me or has, seen me talk about it, if you have Pitta excess right now, or if you are Pitta dominant, Shitali breath is a wonderful breath to help calm down any inner heat, calm down any anger, kind of helps promote cooling and soothing. So the way that Shitali breath works is you actually have a longer exhale. So you have a shorter inhale that's normally in. You inhale in through the nose, and then you actually exhale out as if you're blowing through a straw. So you kind of round out the tongue, you round out the lips like you have a straw, and then you kind of have a slow exhale, okay? So first we're gonna do it with inhaling in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth, and then we'll try what it's like to inhale and exhale through the mouth. I want you to see what works best for you. Okay, so let's just do a few rounds of this. Inhaling in through the nose, and we're gonna have a slow exhale out through our straw, okay, as if we're blowing out through a straw. You might even hear this kind of wind sound, okay? So take a normal inhale in here, normal exhale out, big inhale in, slow exhale out through a straw. Let's try that again. Inhale in through the nose, long exhale out. Let's try that again. Maybe even close the eyes this time if that feels good. Inhale in, exhale out. All right, so that was one experience of Shitali breath. So now I want you to try it in and out through the mouth. Okay, so we'll do the same thing, but this time it's all through a straw, right? You inhale in, and then long exhale out. Okay, so we're gonna try that. Feel free to even place one hand on your navel, the other hand on your heart. Okay, if you wanna connect to the body now. And also we should hopefully be feeling most of that breath in our abdomen, okay, in that deep belly breathing, which I've gone over in previous classes and really helpful in a yoga practice or just to calm down. Okay, so take a normal inhale in, normal exhale out. Form that straw with the mouth. Inhale in, exhale out. Feel free to close the eyes for the next 2 times we do this. Inhale in through the straw.
Exhale out. One last time, inhale in through the straw. Exhale out long and slow. Beautiful. Take a moment just to notice how the body responds. And it's okay if it's not responding the way that we expected. It's okay to feel whatever is coming up right now. Staying in the present moment. Resuming the normal breath. And gently opening the eyes, removing the hands from the body, and making the way down to your mat onto your back. When you come down onto your back, stretch the arms up overhead. Stretch the legs out in front of you, growing really tall. So you're stretching, growing really tall on the mat. And then hugging the knees into the chest, giving yourself a tight hug, rocking left and right, massaging the spine. Maybe even moving the knees in circles if that feels good to you. This might feel extra good on the back. And then reversing direction if you were moving your knees in circles. And then bring the feet down to the mat. We're just gonna do a simple bridge pose here just to open up the heart, continuing with our heart opening breath that we just did. Okay, the Shitali breath, the cooling breath. So you want your heels to be close enough so that your fingertips can graze your heels. And then release the hands down, relax the shoulders. Inhale as you slowly lift the hips up one vertebra at a time. Keep the neck looking at the sky. Do not turn the neck. Keep the neck safe, gazing up. Once you roll a little bit more onto your shoulders, feel free to clasp your hands underneath your seat to deepen the bridge. Keeping the breath moving. Keep the knees squared. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unclasp the hands if they're clasped and slowly, slowly, slowly roll down one vertebra at a time. Once again, hug the knees into the chest, giving yourself a tight squeeze, rocking left and right, massaging the spine. And then opening up into happy baby, grabbing the outsides of both feet, perhaps continuing to rock left and right, massaging the spine. And then doing any last movements that you need for your practice, or coming down into the final pose of Shavasana. Tuning into what it is that you need in this moment, whether that's Shavasana or to do any other movements for your body. And staying in the present moment. If the mind wanders, just coming back to the breath, coming back to what is happening in the body right now. Stay in the present moment, and the magic will return. Slowly start to deepen the breath, bringing movement into the body, wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, rolling the wrists, rolling the ankles, stretching the arms up overhead, growing really tall, stretching the legs out in front of you. And then rolling over onto either side, coming into a fetal position, taking a moment to collect the breath, to start anew. And when you're ready, coming back onto your mat in a comfortable seated position. This can be just on the mat or on the edge of a block, a blanket, a pillow, whatever feels good to you. Palms together at the heart, bowing down to our palms. Giving gratitude to ourselves for showing up to our yoga practice this evening. Giving gratitude to our mind, our body, our breath. And giving gratitude to those in our lives that show up for us, that support us, care for us. And growing our heart space even wider, if we have room for it tonight, by thinking of what we are grateful for from our neighbors, in addition to our loved ones, our community, our city, our state, our whole country, our world, our universe. Just focusing on a moment on the heart, receiving love and giving out love, receiving compassion, giving out compassion, receiving gratitude, giving out gratitude. And knowing that our intentions don't just stay on the yoga mat, our intentions leave with us out into our everyday lives. The yoga practice does not stop here. It is always a continuing journey. I thank each and every one of you for coming to practice with me this evening. It is always an honor to share this practice with you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Just a quick announcement. I'll be teaching a lunar flow class this Thursday, the 28th, for the full moon. It'll be at 5:30 Pacific time, and it's a different class. We'll be doing a moon salutation, which is actually much slower, really works the hips. Boy, does it work the hips. So we'll do moon salutations, and then the last part of it will be more meditation, pranayama, some sort of self-reflection. Okay, so feel free to register for that on my website, theexpandinglotus.com. Otherwise, I hope to see you again in the future. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye, everyone.